friends, neighbors, and countrymen. Welcome to Sir Brown's Rough Ride to Vote, an educational voter empowerment presentation of the Honey Brown Hope Foundation in partnership with Jack J. Valenti School of Communication at U of H, Community Education Partners, South Central YMCA, TSU Debate Team, and Houston Independent School District's Instructional Media Services. I'm Tammie Lane Campbell, founder and executive director of the Honey Brown Hope Foundation. Since its inception in 1991, the foundation has worked to give and nurture hope in young people through our diversity, environmental awareness, drama, writing, and character building programs. You know, it seemed like it was yesterday when Sir Brown and his great Medea were talking about a black man being selected as his party's presidential candidate. Now that this historic election is over, we're taking another look at Sir Brown's story. In this episode of Sir Brown's Rough Ride to Vote, the viewers are reminded why a vote is a terrible thing to waste, and how far America has come in the realization of a dream once thought impossible: a black man as Commander-in-Chief of the United States of America.
Welcome, boys and girls, to Sir Brown's Rough Ride to Vote. Now, in my family, like most families, it's a tradition for a family storyteller to pass along their family's history from one generation to the next. And although our family's history is documented in photos, writings, and videos, none of them can quite convey the pain, the suffering, the struggles, and the successes quite like our storytellers' vivid and emotional accounts. Now, there was a time, boys and girls, when African Americans weren't allowed to read, to write, to vote, to go to the same schools, or even use the same restrooms. And that's when we relied on our storytellers to educate, preserve, and share our history. Now, I want all of you to stay tuned and don't move. Sir Brown's Rough Ride.
Hold up, Sade. There are a few things that they need to know about Sir before we get started.
Oh, did I forget something?
Oh, yes, you forgot a lot.
Oh.
Now, like most young people, Sir believes that adults can do what they want. He doesn't understand his great Medea's past, her struggles, her fears, being afraid to sleep at night, being afraid to speak up, being afraid to hold her head up and look in a white man's eyes. Sir can't imagine a human being working from sun up to sundown, beat into submission, oppressed and depressed. Sir doesn't understand that his elder struggles give him the freedom to vote for a black presidential candidate, and that his story, his STORY, is as important as the American history books.
Well, I guess I did forget quite a bit there.
Oh, yeah.
But just to let you all know, we're the new generation of storytellers, Sade and Dennis Campbell Jr. And today, our friend Sir Brown is going to have a life-changing, unforgettable, and haunting experience that'll be added to his his story.
Shh! This cautionary tale is already in progress. Stay tuned for Sir Brown's Rough Ride to Vote by the Tammie Lane Campbell.
Thanks for the invite to the party.
No problem. What's good, man? It's my birthday tomorrow. That's what's good. Wait, wasn't your birthday last month? Yeah. But Medea died 2 days before my birthday. My parents and I were devastated and weren't in any mood or shape to celebrate anything. Well, sir, I know Medea's death was painful for you. I miss her too. She inspired us all with her words of wisdom and faith in God. But it was shaping up to be such a great year before her death. My parents keep telling me that she's having fun in heaven, praising her Heavenly Father, and that I should do the same. Something tells me that they're right, man. So speaking of, what type of games you got lined up for the party, man?
Games?
Games. This is a party, okay, for an 18-year-old man, not some 6-year-old boy. Excuse me, Mr. I'm 18. Mr. I'm too old to have fun. Your food and DJ better be on point, man. No finger foods, please. And by the way, I did tell you that we need Lene and Shakola, the finest ladies in town. You did invite them, right?
Of course I invited them. It wouldn't be a party without those ladies, but I don't have to worry about girls coming to my party because my cousin Honey got that department on lock.
Yes, your cousin Honey. I would love to get to know her along with her fine friends. Just do me a favor, man. Don't invite those football jocks. They could really crash the party.
First of all, my cousin's off limits.
Whoa, man, come on. Don't spoil the party before it starts. I'm just trying to have some fun.
Secondly, my cuz is off limits, and if you can't compete, stop barking out that big game.
Look, man, I don't mind competing. I just don't like sweating. A true player works smarter, not harder. Get on with it, man.
Let me tell you something. You've been calling yourself a player for a mighty, mighty long time. But truth be told, you really don't have the skills for this game.
Sir, you calling me a loser? I'm a bigger player than you.
I'm just saying, I got a lot of training to do before whipping those training wheels off your tricycle. Meet me at my crib tomorrow. I'm holding auditions. It's gonna be called Show Off Your Talent Contest.
Look, it's not that crucial, man. I'm just trying to sample the food and get down to get down.
If you can't handle it, then stay at home.
Whatever, man.
All right. Set it up. Let's get this audition started.
Do it.
Don't be shy. Step on up to the mic.
Happy birthday, sir. My name is Summer, and what you see right here is the hottest talent in town, and I don't mess around.
Well, Summer, is it? We have enough heat. Let's see if you got some talent.
Let me give you a taste. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya.
Okay, you in for show. Next.
Hey, sir, my name is Spice, and I can make your party the hottest in town.
Well, let's see what kind of spice you got. Okay, you got the right spice, and you dropped it like it's hot.
Hello, sir. My name is Beautiful. Are you having a happy and beautiful day? Oh, I think the whole world would be more special if everyone followed Miss Tammie Campbell's advice to drop the load. Forgive. Imagine how good you'll feel to drop the load. Forgive. Release yourself from the prison that you are in. Stop battling within. Drop the load. Forgive.
That was deep.
Yeah?
But I'm about to holler at you later. Next!
Yeah, you do that, sir. Because I hate to have to turn ugly on your special and beautiful day.
God, that girl had beauty, brains, talent, and a whole lot of attitude.
Yeah, well, let me go ahead and take this.
All right, man.
Hello? Hey, Dion. Nothing, just planning for the party. You know, everything is everything. What? Wait a minute. What do you mean you can't come through? Look, I'm not paying you for excuses. I'm paying you for results. If you can't come
Is that
through,
Dion?
then refund me. Yes, Dion.
Dion, if you don't deliver according to our contractual agreement, I'm going to let everybody know that you weak and your business is whack. Straight up. That's how I roll when handling business. And I expect you to do the same. That sounds good. I'm glad we could come to this understanding.
Look, I could have handled Dion, okay?
Whatever makes you happy, cuz you know it's your birthday and I promised it to be hassle-free.
Okay, so where are we on the food, the decorations, and those fine college girls you promised me? RSVP.
See, I didn't follow up on those.
Honey, what do you mean you didn't follow up
But
on
I
those?
did follow up on them fine football teammates of yours.
What? Honey, are you kidding? Please tell me you're kidding.
Yeah, I'm kidding. You really need to learn how to relax. I got you covered, cuz. Anyways, I have some more errands to run for your party, so I'm gonna holler at you later.
Okay. I'm not doing this, Liz. I'm tired.
Your vote is your voice. I vote because it gives me an equal voice as a citizen. I vote because I refuse to be silent. I vote to make my voice count when it comes to positively changing my community, my state, and my country. I vote because I respect those persons who risked and lost their lives to give me the opportunity to vote, and I refuse to let them down. I ask you to please don't let anybody discourage you from voting. I am counting on you not to let anybody convince you that your vote doesn't count, because it really and truly does. Your vote is your voice. I'm Representative Senfronia Thompson, and I approve this message.
I know I've been changed. I know I've been changed. Oh, glory, I know I've been changed. The angels in...
Madea! What you did?
So what? You're sleepwalking and still listening to that racket of music.
I gotta be dreaming. I have got to be dreaming. Wake up, sir.
Oh, son, you're gonna have to do more than shake your head and wake up for me to disappear. Now, do you remember your promise you made to me? Huh, do you?
Huh?
Son, I've been restless and turning over in my grave because you haven't kept your promise to me.
Promise. Madea, I know I promised to volunteer with the senior citizens at the absentee home, but I've been so busy.
Hush all that fussing and come on over here and sit with me. Sir, you can't imagine the high cost we old black folks paid so you youngsters could vote. Our pain, our sacrifice, our suffering. Oh, I thank God for allowing me to live 108 years to see the positive changes in my family and America.
My name is Lane Lewis, and I encourage everyone to vote in every election, because bad things happen when good people stand in silence. On August 6, 1965, native Texan President Lyndon Johnson signed the Voting Rights Act and acknowledged the power of a collective and united voice. During his speech from the Capitol Rotunda, President Johnson said Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s Southern Christian Leadership Conference was launched to protect your right to vote and pressure Congress into passing the Voting Rights Act. This is Lane Lewis reminding you to never lose sight that our great nation depends upon the collective pressure of those willing to fight and vote to transform our American democracy into the American dream for all.
Oh, I never thought I'd see the day when a black man was nominated as his party's presidential candidate. Oh, no, I didn't. See, son, although I was ready to meet my Heavenly Father, I didn't want to leave you. There was just so much more that I needed to share with you. Son, let me show you why you must not take your vote for granted. Now, you heard of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
We, the civil rights workers of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, also known as the SNCC, are here fighting for freedom for all, for justice for all, for equality for all. Now we bring Reverend Green up to the stage to talk about our struggles. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
Thank you for your bravery in exercising your constitutional right to vote. Years of protesting, grassroots organizing, litigation, and civil rights lobbying have led to the defeat of the Jim Crow segregation system. But our battle is not over. That's why we call upon our government today to implement a simple standard that protects our right to vote. We're here to emphasize that our right to vote was soaked in the blood of good men, women, and children. Let this march on Washington serve as a cautionary reminder that Dr. King's 1957 message still stands. In 1963, give us the ballot, and we will no longer have to worry the government about our basic rights. Thank you. God bless. We shall not be moved.
It's really incredible witnessing the inauguration of President-elect Obama coinciding with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s national holiday observation and the 41st anniversary of Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech. I'm Gayle Fallon. I'm president of the Houston Federation of Teachers. Back in 1963, I was one of those idealistic, hopeful young people in D.C. for Dr. Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech, which propelled the 1965 Voting Rights Act. Although most people remember Dr. King's speech, few realize this March on Washington was a labor effort to stand up against discriminatory and unfair labor practices. Dr. King's voice couldn't be ignored. Hearing him speak in '63 motivated me to go to Mississippi to register African Americans to vote during a time it was hostile, was dangerous, and it was absolutely terrifying. Human rights, labor rights, civil rights, they're all really one and the same.
Now we have a black presidential candidate.
Wait, you mean to tell me there were young people in the civil rights movement who have advanced the 1965 Voting Rights Act?
Yeah, they were young, but they understood the cost of freedom and were willing to fight and willing to die for it.
To die for it?
To die for it.
Thank God for better days.
Oh, child, God has always been and is still good to us. I was born in 1900. 8 years before Thurgood Marshall, 9 years before the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, also known as the NAACP. January 1st, 1863, 37 years before my birth, President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. But guess what?
What?
Oh, we didn't free us black folk. Soon as the Civil War was over, those in charge went back to their old ways of oppressing us black folk. They created these laws, baby, to deny us the right to vote based on their stupid literacy test. How many bubbles in a bar of soap? Grandfather clause. Poll taxed. Then they lynched, beat, brutalized, jailed, and even murdered some of us for attempting to register to vote or run for office.
Medea, if I would have lived back out, then I wouldn't have taken none of that.
Oh, Lord help us. You and others talk about what you wouldn't have taken while you sit here and take your obligation and privilege to vote for granted. There were times when I thought I couldn't go on, but I thank the Lord for giving me strength to move forward. Son, when you don't vote, you dishonor your legacy and you disgrace our memory. You owe it to those who came before you. You owe it to those who will come after you. And most importantly, you owe it to yourself to vote.
When the 1965 Voting Rights Act was ushered in, it didn't just happen. People like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., President John F. Kennedy, Miss Rosa Parks, Miss Mamie King-Chalmers, the 4 little girls and the surviving little girl in the 1963 Birmingham, Alabama church bombing. President Lyndon Johnson and countless others served as agents of change. They were the driving forces in the media who instigated a positive change in America. Wrongs must be revealed for wounds to be healed. I'm D'Artagnan Bebel, Vice President General Manager of Fox 26, KRV TV, and My 20, KTXH TV in Houston. Every day we share what is going on in our city, state, and nation. This information helps our viewers make informed decisions when exercising their right to vote.
I love you, Medea. And you can rest in your grave knowing that I will not take my privilege or my obligations to vote for granted. I promise.
I love you too, baby. Now don't make me have to visit you from my grave again. Child, you let your voice be heard like Sister Rosa Parks when she refused to go to the back of that bus. Or Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. when he delivered his famous I Have a Dream speech. Boy, don't you let nobody turn you around from voting. Now look here, you take this here voter's registration card with you. And you let this serve as a reminder that a vote, baby, is a terrible thing to waste.
Hi, I'm Nkosi James, and I'm a voice for democracy. I attend school at Community Educational Partners, also known as CEP, in Houston ISD, where we are taught to respect ourselves, our families, our teachers, and all people. I wasn't old enough to make a difference at the polls in this election because you have to be 18 to vote, but I participated in a mock election at CEP that helped me learn about the election process. At CEP, our student body predicted that President-elect Obama would win the election on November the 4th. This experience not only taught me the values of voting, but it taught me that I can make a difference and make my voice count by voting. It's a civic responsibility, and it's the right thing to do. When I'm 18, I'll be ready. Are you?
Hi, this is Bishop James Dixon, senior pastor at the Community of Faith Church. 50 years ago, in 1965, President Lyndon Baines Johnson signed the Voters' Rights Act. The vision was to empower every American to take advantage of the power of the vote. Yet 50 years later, we're still finding it difficult to get most of us to exercise that sacred right. The power to vote, the privilege to vote, and the importance of the vote seems to be escaping our mindsets. But it's important for me to point out to you today, without preaching a sermon, the need for us to take full advantage of this election season. The reality is, we want better education for our children. We still need jobs and economic development. Neighborhoods are still unsafe, and we still have unfair court systems. Today, the need to vote is greater than ever before. I'm urging you to take full advantage of the privilege of the vote and the power of the vote, and remember the price people paid for you and I to have the chance to vote. Do it, because the future of our children, including mine, depends on your vote right now. Go vote. The power is in your hands.
Now, I heard it through the spiritual grapevine that you having yourself a little birthday party.
Oh, yeah. But not before I vote. I promise. Madea, I see you lost that cane and your limp.
Oh, yes, I'm wearing a nice little pair of heels, too. See, I left that cane and that limp when I went to my Father's house in heaven. Now, don't try and change the subject.
Ma'am.
Let's get one thing straight.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I bet you wasn't planning on me showing up to your birthday party, now did you? Hallelujah.
No,
Yes,
I thought
Jesus.
death might have stopped you from attending.
No, baby. See, although the heavenly boss didn't give me permission to attend your party, he's allowing me to bring the heavenly party to you. Oh, yes, baby. The heavenly party. Come on now.
I'm gonna make it count. Oh, this little vote of mine. I'm gonna make it count. Oh, this little vote of mine. I'm gonna make it count.
Over here, baby.
This little vote of mine.
Over
I'm
here,
gonna
sweetie.
make it count.
It's Medea.
Make it count. Make it count.
Come here, sugar.
Make it count.
Hey, baby. Sir, remember your promise to me. And remember your obligation to those who fought and died so you could vote. We didn't go through the valley to be attacked by angry mobs, dogs, spat upon, intimidated, and humiliated for you to take your voting right for granted. Son, honor our memory by taking advantage, not granted, of your opportunity to vote.
I'm gonna make it count. Oh, this little vote of mine. I'm gonna make it count. Make it count. This little vote of mine. I'm gonna make it count.
Wake up, sir. Wake up, sir.
I'm a change.
Wake up, sir.
Damn people, Madea.
Wake up, sir.
Vote.
Wake up, sir. You about to sleep through your whole party.
You see my ballot?
Your
Look,
ballot?
what are you talking about? Look, I have to keep a promise to Madea. Because a vote is a terrible thing to waste.
Now that's a wrap.
We'll see you at the voting polls.
No vote will be left behind.
It only takes 2 minutes to vote. I faced police dogs, was beaten by police officers, and blasted by powerful water hose that made me deaf in my right ear. I was subject to questions like, how many peas in a bag? How many bubbles are in a bar of soap? How many illegitimate children do I have? And I still fought to vote. The 50th anniversary of the Voting Rights Act, signed by President Johnson, made it possible for every person to be equally counted and valued. Remember, it doesn't matter if you are rich or poor, black, white, or yellow, or brown. Your vote gives you equal power. So please honor our sacrifices and our pain by letting your voice be heard through your vote. I am Mamie King-Chalmers, and I live through it.
Well, guys, God allowed Medea to be with us to witness the reauthorization of the Voting Rights Act in 2007. And to think, a black man being nominated as his party's presidential candidate.
Now, Sade, do you think it was necessary to reinstate the Voting Rights Act in 2007 for another 25 years?
Necessary? Oh my goodness. Look, you're young, but I'm gonna tell you like the old folks used to say. We've come so far, but we've still got so far to go. Now let me explain something else to you. The Voting Rights Act was used as a tool in the courts to ensure that African Americans and other minorities have an equal opportunity to participate in the election process. And it also ensures that African Americans aren't discriminated against when they execute their constitutional right to vote.
Friends and fellow citizens, it is happening all over the country. Continuous brutal and hateful attacks upon humanity, from church bombings and shootings, to racial profiling, to beatings and killings. When I think about the strong shoulders I'm standing on today and the past and present injustices committed against my people, I thank God for the opportunity to vote and make my voice count. I dare not vote, turn back and spit in the face of my courageous people. My hope is that you make your voice count by voting and never taking it for granted. I'm Tammie Lane Campbell, and as founder and executive director of the Honey Brown Hope Foundation, I thank God for Mamie King-Chalmers, a foot soldier and veteran of the Civil Rights Movement, who served under Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., along with others who fought and served during the movement. Our honorary chairs, sponsors, partners, supporters, and all of you for joining us in our efforts to get everyone to wake up and vote.
Thanks for watching Sir Brown's Rough Ride to Vote. We'll see you at the voting polls.